Hello everybody. Pattern parts for motorcycles. What a farce. What a farce. This little 350 bullet that I've got here, it's blown its head gasket, and it blew that on the 26th of September, and it's still not fixed due to pattern parts. Right, so it was supposed to be a 2-day job. Gasket blew, order a new gasket, couple of days, it's here, fit it, job done. So I ordered the new gasket, copper one, and due to the courier that the supplier used, which was Royal Mail Tract 48, which means it's 2 days, it took a week to get here. When it turned up, it was a 500 gasket, and it was 0.5 millimetre thick. Now the gasket I'd ordered was for a 350, 1 millimetre thick. So I phoned the company up and said, I've just bought a gasket from you, and they said, yeah, I seem to remember. I said, well, the gasket you sent me is for a 500. He said, yeah, well, they're all the same. I said, what is all the same? He said, the 500s and the 350s all use the same gasket. I said, no, they don't. I said, the 500 is a bigger bore, so it won't fit. It's a bigger hole in the middle of the gasket. Oh, well, I'll have to send you another one then. I said, right, okay, well, when you do send me another one, can you send me one for a 350 and 1 millimetre thick? So he said, yeah, right. I said, you're not going to send it to me until I send the old one back, are you? And he said, well, as soon as we get it back, we'll have a look at it, and then we'll send out a replacement. I said, well, make sure it's a 350 for a 350 and it's 1 millimetre thick. So I said, yeah, okay, yeah, right. So I bundled my gasket that I'd got back to them, and it took another 9 days to get the replacement gasket, and I'll show you what they sent me. This is what they sent me. It's a 350 gasket. It's been folded in half and it's creased across the there and there, so it's damaged before it even starts. It is a 350 gasket though, that is the only thing they have got right, and it's 0.5 millimetre thick. It's no good for this bike at all, and I'll explain. Right, the cylinder head has got to sit over a spigot that sticks proud of the cylinder barrel, and the head must not bottom on that spigot, because there's a recess in the head for the spigot. That head must not bottom onto that spigot until it's crushed the gasket, which is round the spigot, and it's 1 millimetre gap, so you have to have a 1 millimetre gasket, so it crushes the gasket before it sits down onto the spigot. So a 0.5 millimetre gasket isn't going to work. So anyway, in the meantime, while I'm faffing about with trying to get a gasket from these people, I had a rummage around and in my box of stuff, and I found this, which is Royal Enfield genuine spares cylinder head gasket for a 350 bullet. I expect I bought this from Hitchcock's at some point. Yes, it's a composite gasket, but by now I don't care. I just want to get this bike finished. It's been going on and on and on and on and on. So the gasket I've got here is a genuine composite gasket. It's going to work, and it's 1 millimetre thick. So we can get this bike fixed now, but that's what you get with pattern parts. I'll give you another for example. I was working on a BSA 650 unit twin, and you couldn't kick it over because the kickstart ratchet slipped. So I had the side cover off the thing, got the ratchet out, and it was completely wore out. So I phoned up a major supplier of Royal Enfield BSA spares and said, look, I'm looking for a kickstart ratchet for a BSA A65 1972. And he said, yeah, we've got one of those on the shelf. I said, right. I said, can I come and pick it up? He said, yeah. He said, when do you want to come? I said, that'll be this afternoon. He said, yeah, we're in. I said, okay, I'll see you in a bit. So I went over, picked the ratchet up, brought it back, put it in the bike, put the bike back together, went to kick it over, it slipped. It was just as bad as the old one. So I thought, well, it's got to be the pawl in the ratchet. So I took it all apart again, looked at the pawl. There's nothing wrong with the pawl at all. So I took the new ratchet out and compared it to the old ratchet, which was worn out, and they were absolutely identical. So what they'd actually done is got an old worn ratchet and copied it faithfully, and you didn't have to wait for it to wear out because it was already wore out before it was finished. They'd built the wear into it, and I just thought, oh, great, isn't it? Another example, twist grips. Now these things, I ordered a twist grip, just a generic one, and it turned up, and it was, I split the two halves of the clamp, put it on the handlebars, and this bit wouldn't even sit down over the handlebars properly. And I thought, what's the matter with this then? So pulled it off, put the bottom clamp back on, and measured it across the hole. It was 19 millimeters. Well, who has 19 millimeter handlebars? They're either 7/8 or they're inch. It just goes on and on and on. It's this pattern. So for Royal Enfield stuff now, I'm not going to order anything unless it's from two different people, either Hitchcock's or Royal Enfield themselves, and get genuine spares. It's just not worth the ag. It's like, what was it, the 26th of September, what, we're the 15th of October now, and I've only just, it's only because I've got a gasket. I don't know why I didn't just go to Hiscox and get one anyway, but anyway, I can't even be bothered to send this one back. And it turned up in a lovely package, loads of English writing on it, look. And it says, what does it say? Hang on a minute. Manufactured by well qualified and experienced engineers. Well, you can imagine that, can't you? It's going to be some 15-year-old kid on a great big press, pressing out copper gaskets. Committed for excellence. Okay. For your safety and satisfaction. Well, there's no danger of it being unsafe because it never fit the bike anyway, so it's never going to get put on. And if you turn it over, aha, English. Made by the Lucky 7 Gasket and Oil Seal Company for all two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And there's a picture of a sports bike, so I could have used a Suzuki gasket, couldn't I, or a Kawasaki or a Honda. Why would you put that picture of that bike on a Royal Enfield gasket? Lucky 7, and if you read between the lines, what they mean is for every 7 gaskets you order, you might be lucky if you get one that even fits. That's what they mean by that. Pure garbage, absolute garbage. So that won't be going anywhere. Oh yeah, I could get away with it by ordering another one and putting 2 gaskets on them. I'm not going to do that because that's not the way to do it, is it? So this afternoon I'm going to be having the head off this. I'm not going to make a video on it because it is so simple to do. You just unbolt the carburetor, take the fuel tank off, take the fuel line off, take these 2 bolts out here to free the oil lines. The 2 rocker boxes have got 4 bolts in each. Undo them. 1 bolt there, and take the downpipe off. You've got five nuts like that in the head. Take the 5 bolts off, lift the head off. Job done. It doesn't warrant a video. It's so simple. So you know, you can do it with the toolkit that's with the bike. You know, it's not rocket science at all. So I will have this bike back again today. I want this bike back on the road because we're starting to get colder temperatures now, and they're going to salt the roads. And this bike's used to that. It's had plenty of that. So yeah, you know, it's just be very careful about pattern parts you buy, especially pistons. If you want a set of pistons, it's very tempting to go on a well-known auction site, and I couldn't possibly tell you that it's called eBay, but there we are. And you see some nice shiny pistons and you think, oh yeah, they're good. They're cheap, aren't they? They look really cheap. 50 quid for a pair. Why are they only 50 quid for a pair? Well, Royal Enfields, they used a low expansion alloy for their pistons, and I've watched videos of Indian foundries casting stuff, and then it's whatever comes into the foundry as scrap. There'll be old teapots and saucepans and kettles and bits of an old engine, a water pump off a washing machine. It all goes in the pot, all gets melted down, and they cast pistons and all sorts out of them. So if you see the supplier on this well-known auction site and you send them a message and say, can you give us a spec on the aluminium that's made, you won't get an answer. They just will not answer you because they don't know, because it's made out of anything that they can find that's made out of aluminium that they can melt down and make into something. So go to a reputable supplier for pistons. Don't take a chance on them, because they'll seize up, they'll do all kinds of weird things because they're not compatible for the use that they're being put to. So anyway, it's not a rant really, it's just a mumble and a groan really about all this pattern motorcycle nonsense. It's been like this for years, and the funny thing is, the American stuff you get from America is quality, because the Americans won't put up with crap like we do. I mean, all this backwards and forwards with gaskets and that, it's just complete nonsense. Yes, it's partly my fault. I should have gone straight to Hitchcock's and bought a gasket then, but it's only because I found one. I haven't reordered one, but I will reorder another gasket from them, because everything you get from Hitchcock's is quality. I've found I can't fault their service at all. And if it's Royal Enfield, they are the people. No matter what year, what make, or what model, they've normally got it. So yeah, I thought I'd just make a video to tell you. It's more of a warning really. Pattern parts are cheap for a reason, and that reason is because they're nonsense. If you can hear something running in the background, don't know if you can or not, it's because we're in the middle of a power cut at the moment, so we're on a generator. They've got some of the lines down at the moment, so they're doing a bit of upgrade work, I think, making them thicker so they can charge you more for it, I expect. So yeah, we've got a generator running in the background, so sorry about that. But there we are. Shop very carefully when you're looking for pattern parts, and go to reputable suppliers, not these others. Anyway, I'm going to leave you there because I've said what I've got to say, really. I'm going to get on with this little bullet now, change the head gasket. And I've missed this bike already. I've only had, it's only been off the road for a few weeks, but I've missed it. So it's my old faithful bike, this one. Yep. I shall give it an oil change as well. I might go mad and paint the rims black while I'm at it, and the exhaust system. I think they're rusted enough now to take paint. Yeah, good little bike this. I like this bike. I've been having to use the shiny one for the last few days. And, it's been dry, but it's not going to be long before they start salting the roads, and oh dear, that's when the fun starts. Yeah. Alrighty, okay, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.